which is gonna be Vicious versus We Them Kids. And once again, we're back with another match where it's like top 6 against maybe one of the bottom uh, teams who are like on the all the way on the bottom, and we can start with an early goal from We Them Kids to Rarium, just putting this one in so quickly.
Yeah, We Them Kids there, sitting in third place, a win today. We'll see them jump back over Risky Business, who leapfrogged them on the last match, whereas a win for Vicious today will see them go from 9th to 9th without a move, unless they can beat We Them Kids by at least 50 goals. Then there's going to be no movement between for Vicious.
You know, last time, from what I've seen, it's just Vicious, they struggle a lot with the communication. And
Yeah.
knowing that they are going against a team like We Them Kids, they definitely need to figure out a way to have better communication. Like, they just need to prevent those double commits and trust each other's more. We have seen so many players just being narrow vision to the ball, to the point where they just ignore that there's gonna be a teammate in the back. Just he could have like took a better shot compared to that player who was like about to go for it, for example. So we really need to see Vicious to get the they get to minimize their mistakes. Obviously, that's gonna be a huge factor to have a better chance to win in the series.
Yeah, as we see with Vicious's head-to-head record throughout this competition, it either goes very well for them, or it either goes very badly, like the start so far that they are having. A second goal there, this time from Pearl. Just a straightforward goal into the net. Really a simple goal, nothing really too special at the start of this match, a minute 40 in, but a 2-0 lead from We Them Kids. But as I was saying, before that goal went in, Vicious either play really well or not at all. With their head-to-head record of 6 wins and 6 losses, not a single draw throughout the 12 games they have played so far this season. Whereas We Them Kids have beaten 8, drew 2, and have only lost two people, or 2 teams, I should say. As Pearl shoots and scores for 3-0.
He gets a clean read of the backboard, you know, like how you said, it's just nothing too special. It just looked like a normal backboard read, but still like going in a lead like 3-0 in just the first game. It's definitely helping a lot when it comes to the mindset of the team and how they're going to be performing later on in the series.
As Terrarium with the shot passed into himself off the backboard and shoots to make it 4-0. So quick there. Azor, unable to get anything, just rolls off of the ball with his tires, unable to divert the ball at all. And that takes it to 4-0 only, less than 2 minutes in. And we could see a more one-sided game, possibly, than we did against with the last series between Risky Business and Arndorf.
It was a beautiful, speedy pre-flip, and I haven't seen many pre-flips before, but that one, it's just like how Terrarium managed to get the read so quickly, even though the ball just looked like it was maybe a bit too far from him, yet he still gained enough speed to go for it. And he managed to get supersonic also to beat the last 2 defenders from Vicious, so they are just already doing so well at the beginning of the series. 4-0 right now, and just kind of putting Vicious in the defense almost the entire time. There's another shot, and almost went in. It's gonna be bouncing all the way out. It's gonna be Violent G taking this one, and Matruda stopping this one a bit too early. And Violent G just winning the 50. It's gonna be followed by NSX, and finally Vicious, they get 1 goal, and maybe this could be the beginning of the comeback. I don't know, but finally they get something on the board.
Yeah, 4-1 down with 2 minutes 13 to go. It's been done, but I do like watching this Vicious team as well as this We Them Kids team. Both can play very well at times. We Them Kids obviously playing a lot better at times, as well as we see Terrarium try to fly for that, but Violin shoots and just misses as Azor passes it off to NSX, who hits it across the backboard, but Terrarium now on the attack as Azor cuts it out pretty cleanly, straight onto the attack for the team that are 4-0 down. And no problems with the defense on that as we then try to mount the attack.
LNG with the pill just head to head with a 50. Nothing much, but Matchday with an incredible shot right there, but it's gonna be stopped by Azure. 1 minute and a half. Just they need 3 goals at least to stay alive and send it to an overtime.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's really possible.
Yeah, 1 minute 20 left for the team that are maybe a little bit down on their luck right now as Azure takes the shot to the side, maybe to try and center it. Terrarium looking to do something with it, but unable to. The save from Matroda after Violeng's shot. As it just bounces around it for a moment, and yeah, out of the danger zone now. Rodo, I do just have to remind you maybe to praise Vicious a little bit more than you have done in recent times.
I mean they're doing well. Don't get me wrong, but it just the communication. I think it's like one of the easiest things that you could fix. You know, there's like it just takes a simple "I got it" or just somebody to go for it. You know. So for Vicious, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I really like the team as well. Valentine is also one of my favorite players. And I just mention him and he gets a score. Maybe it just takes me to say his name or just maybe think about him. And Vicious, they take the second goal right now. 25 seconds, even though that's not enough time to make like an equalizer happen. But Vicious, they're just slowly finding the rhythm and just having maybe a better ending than maybe they're just like warming up.
Yeah, getting a foot. Hold it to the pin and Azor! You said there was enough time left, but 9 seconds. That quote there from Rydro. Azor with the third goal of the game, and it could be commentator's curse for the We Them Kids. There was 16 seconds left to find a fourth goal to level the game up and to send it to overtime. It could be done as we start to see the countdown go from 10 as Matroda has the ball for We Them Kids, but NSX dispossesses him. NSX on the attack, looking for Violent G, who was unable to find him, and Terrarium hits it away at the last second for the first game to go to We Them Kids after a poor start. Definitely Vicious finding the way back into it.
They looked so alive at the end, and that's great. Like I said, maybe they're just warming up, but how they played at the end, it really shows how they have the potentials, but we just haven't really seen those kind of plays in a while. And maybe game 2 could be the answer, but I kind of came to the conclusion where maybe it's not the caster jinx anymore. Maybe it's actually a blessing, but it's gonna be for the opposing team. You know, it just like it changes how depends on the way how you want to look at it. You know.
Yeah, definitely. As Rydro started praising the performance of Vicious, they scored. Maybe the reason, like, if you just praise them, they'll become a top side.
I mean, sometimes I praise a team and they just manage to do so poorly, where they just get to make a mistake as I even just like before I even get to finish my sentence. So yeah, it's like there's a bit of inconsistencies with my jinx or curse or blessing or whatever you could call it, you know.
As we look to the game as this just started, 30 seconds in, and a great start from the Vicious team that are carrying on from where they left off as a little bit of pressure towards them now as Azor looks to hit that off the backboard and doesn't do a great job at NSX there to help him out as Terrarium keeps the pressure on. Over to Pearl in the corner, NSX almost passing it perfectly to Pearl. NSX with the mistake there. A disastrous, dangerous ball just straight to the middle, and Pearl there beautifully placing it in.
You know, like if you look at the game 1, how it ended. So for Vicious, they just needed to carry this kind of mindset over. But after a mistake like that, I think that could be affected them. But it just seems like NSX was trying his best to pinch the ball off to the other side, but it just didn't end up being so well. And Pearl was there for the follow, and that's gonna be another game where We Them Kids take the lead so early. And now it's just Vicious. They have to find a way to respond back at Weedham Kids.
Yeah, it's hard enough to break down a Weedham Kids side who are, again, a top team in the division, let alone when you go 1-0 down in the series and 1-0 down in game 2. As Violent G looks to do something there, unable to do it. Pearl with the save as Matroda hits the ball into the center and onto the Vicious's side as Azor just yo-yos it back and forth just for a moment between himself and Madroda. Pearl looking to do something, unable to, other than pass it to Terrarium. Over to Pearl, who doesn't connect with it. Left it for Terrarium to try and get a second shot, but doesn't. Over to Matroda. And yeah, just a little bit of ping pong right now within the between the two teams.
They're just banging the ball really hard and just waiting for something to happen. But it's gonna be Pearl right now. It's just gonna be getting the read, and nobody was there, like right in front of the goal line. Everybody seems like was already high and just jumping for the ball. And Pearl with a low placement, extending the lead 2-0. And William Kids just once again kind of just make it look like it's game 1 again.
Yeah, with them Kids with a 2-0 lead about the same time as they did in the first game. But if you remember, in that last game, Vicious did come back and start playing really well. As we still see a shot from Pearl, just hit the crossbar a little bit. Matroda there with the beautiful car. With the shot and the goal, Matroda there. With the sleek black and gold look on that car. Just tipping it over Violent G, couldn't get there. Azor too far away. And a shot top right-hand corner in. And maybe game over already.
Maybe, but for Vicious, we have seen them getting 3 goals like in a row, like all the way at the end. So I think there might be kind of possibility, but it can't really expect or like maybe rely on comebacks most of the time, especially against a team like Within Kids, for example. They're just like maybe at the 4th placements right now or something, but they are definitely one of the best teams out there. So you need to be more like paying more attention and stay focused, and you want to rely on getting an early lead, and that's what you really should be focusing at. But I feel like that kind of mistouch in the defense coming from Vicious, and they get to concede another goal. I think it's definitely not going to be looking the same as game 1, but who knows, maybe in game 3 and game 4 we're going to see Vicious bouncing back, but it's really difficult
The shot there from Pearl.
keep my faith on Vicious right now.
Yeah, as we look at Vicious trying to mount an attack, but Pearl straight back onto the attack for the Weedem Kids side, looking to take to the top of the table after today's games as Terrarium hits it up high to Violent G. Violent G over to NSX. NSX with a shot high against the backboard. Azor now trying to do something with it, knocks it down only as far as Matroda, who's able to hit it to the right-hand side of his net. Gets the second across, but NSX with the interception and a little bit of pressure now for Weedem Kids to soak up about the same time they did in the last game. Violent G with the demolition just to make it a 2v3 just for a moment, but it's not going to worry Pearl, and Pearl will start to mount an attack.
Seems like they're really good in the offense and they're able to have some kind of pressure, but it seems like they're just holding back. So this is like the second time where it only happens when the match is about to be over. So for Vicious, I think they need to stay confident. I mean, they're able to keep the ball in the orange side. We have seen what they're able to do in game 1, but in game 2, it seems like it's almost happening to be the same. But for Vicious, like I said, they just need to have confidence and maybe believe in themselves, even though that could sound a bit cheesy. But yeah, just like believe in yourself and go for it. Just go for the pressure, go for those offensive plays, and stop having to rely too much in the defense, because that's where things get to be really chaotic and possibly even cause even more problems for the team.
Yeah, we them Kids side who are firing on all cylinders with Pearl, Matroda, and Terrarium. 3 really, really good players for the Weedem Kids side, and as far as I can see so far, the Weedham Kids, they are going to be very, very hard to beat, and a game I'm gonna love to see if that happens. I'm not sure on the remaining games left is a Weedham Kids risky business game.
Yeah, but for now it's like Vicious. They're done by 2 in the series, and we need to see the same kind of pressure, like where it happens at the end of the game, but we need to see it from the beginning. So that's where things could make a huge difference for Vicious and possibly have a good chance to at least end it up with a draw, because when this is like not a best of 5 or best of 7, so if you lose a game, it's still gonna be a loss, and you have already lost, so you need to be like treating every game as like there is no tomorrow or something like that. So you really want to give it your best shot.
Yeah, as we wait for this third game in the series to start, as honestly, I'm not sure what's going on here. A little bit messing around between the teams. Vladimir now, just in and out of the teams.
Yeah, they have joined in. It's because
There we go.
when you keep on switching teams, it will force the game to stay at where it is and not cause it to start really early, where it's just gonna become 2 and 3, for example. Because Azure, I believe he was having some kind of technical issues, but they got fixed so quickly, so that's pretty good for Vicious. But Skelly Pale just once again with them kids. Seems like they're almost gonna be the first to get a goal on the board.
Yeah, as a quick change of roster there for the Weedem Kids siders, Terrarium makes way for Vladimir. Vladimir taking control of the Weedem Kids' third position, as the teams line up as NSX, Azor, and Violin G for Vicious, and Pearl, Matroda, and Vladimir now for the Weedem Kids side, who are already 1-0 up in this third match of the series.
Vicious. It's gonna be NSX off to the backboard, but nobody was there to follow. That could have been a clean shot for Vicious. Could have been an early equalizer for them. But it seems like nobody wanted to push really hard and just minimize their defensive mistakes, which is really understandable. They don't really want to look desperate for an equalizer so early. There is still plenty of time remaining. So for Vicious, we need to, like I said, we need to see better pressure. And maybe, but it's not gonna be happening. I think it's gonna be Vladimir and make it just 2-0, and just Azure has just completely left. I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah, Vladimir there, a minute and 7 seconds in, and we've had a little bit of an internet problem with Azor. Azor has left, so momentarily it will be a 2v3. So not only are the team of Vicious down on their luck, down in the games, and 2-0 down in this game of the series, they're gonna have to do it with 1 player almost, as we just see the Vicious player just spinning around. Matroda just... Oh, Matroda, the Weedem Kids, so it's gonna just be a 2v2, a little bit of... I can't remember the word, a little bit of fairness, a little bit of...
Yeah, they're being really fair with them, like, I don't think I've seen anything like that. If anything else, I've seen a team where instead you get a player just trying to demo the last defender, for example, just forcing it to be 3v1. So this is so nice to see from Weedem Kids actually to make it 2v2 until Azure joins back, and hopefully things are working so well. But it's just gonna be again just Vicious done by 2 goals with 3 minutes and half remaining. So
yeah,
there's still plenty of time, and one more time it's just gonna be Vicious just playing it to the defense. It's gonna be Vladimir.
As Azor joins back now, the 3v3 commences. Sportsmanship will all be over Vladimir, Matroda, and Pearl against the Violin GNSX and Azor, who has just joined back, as we We see a good strike from Matroda, unable to get there. Pearl now with it. Azure looks like he's going to save it quite cleanly. Only as far as Vladimir. Vladimir towards the center. Over to Pearl, unable to find Pearl. It goes straight to Violin G, who makes an attack, trying to make the scores a little bit closer than they are currently. NSX with a shot to the middle. Oh, and a bump from Vladimir to Pearl. The teammates, maybe a little bit of miscommunication there.
Maybe Azure. Just leaving this one for his teammate, NSX. Still unable to do so much, and now Pearl.
Azure standing still in the field. It might go back down to a 3v2 there, depending on connection issues of the Vicious player there. As Vladimir takes to attack over to the middle, but Violin G manages to save it as NXX now presses. We have Azure back in the team, so it is back to a 3v3 situation now. The ping does not look great for the Vicious player, as Vladimir just makes a simple deflection, but it wasn't enough. It was straight to NSX and over to Violin. Does he get a tap on it? He does. He just gets that redirect right at the end. That could have been an amazing, but Violin G in the right place at the right time to make the scores just that little bit tighter. With the connection issues as well for the side, they are doing everything in their power and more to maybe mount a comeback and get a point from this.
It's great to see the passion, like how they're not giving up so early. You just like, for example, if you look at Outnorth, they didn't want to forfeit the last game from that series, and right now for Vicious, Azur's having some kind of technical issues with the connection, but just like he's still not giving up, and for Vicious, they're still doing their best to keep the game as close as possible. And it's kind of unfortunate how it's happening for Vicious right now, because Game 3, it's like where things get to be decided for the losing team.
Yeah,
so they get to win a game that's going to be helping them out a lot, where they could be like, okay, we have won this game, so we could win the next one. But if they're going to be losing it, well, that's going to be where things going to be falling apart. Even, like, things will get to look even worse for the losing team. So we got like 40 seconds right now, and Vicious, they're just kind of doing well with the pressure. But
yeah,
Freedom Kidz, they're doing so well at breaking away from that pressure. And see, sorry, yeah, you could go and.
Sorry, it's definitely an all or nothing game. The side as we go into desperately trying to find a way to level it up, send it to overtime. We haven't seen an overtime so far yet in the games today, as Vladimir takes it away from Matroda unceremoniously, as the last 3 seconds, and it did bounce around the WeDem Kidz side just for a second, but Matroda there looking to get the ball down, and Vladimir just playing with the ball a little bit, and WeDem Kidz there take the third victory, and the points will be going to WeDem Kidz, and it'll be interesting to see if they'll play a fourth or not. I don't think they will, due to Azure's connection problems.
Yeah, sadly, we're not gonna have the fourth game. Seems like it's gonna be a forfeit. Yeah, I believe it's gonna be a forfeit, because Azure sadly is having technical problems, and sadly it's happening like where Vicious is just kind of like waking up. You know, they're still able to keep the game very close, and sometimes like they get to wake up only near end of the match, and it's kind of questionable to see, like, you know, why does that only happen when it's like it's about to be a loss and there's like nothing could be done, and they just get to show up, you know. But you know, that shows how they have potential, but just in my opinion, I think it just the confidence wasn't really there for them to be pushing really hard in the offense from the beginning. It seems like they were worried about conceding open net goals, or maybe not they are going to be able to keep up with the communication.
Yeah, definitely.